Hello, this is Latricia again. I just want to talk about a little bit about domestic violence. I was a victim of domestic violence a couple years ago with my children's father, and we would fight a lot because of me. I would argue with him because of about whether it's finances, or him looking at other females and different things. And then sometimes it would, not sometimes, but all the time, whenever we argued, it would lead up to a fight. So basically, the state got involved, and eventually, in the end, they took the kids and they placed them with his mother. And so that's where they're residing at right now with her. But I just want to say it's not even worth arguing with somebody, what I'm saying, over a female or over money. If a person gonna help you out, that's fine. And if a person out here cheating on you or whatever with other people, then it's best to leave that person. See, I was so in love with this guy, and I just made a lot of mistakes dealing with him. I wish I can go back in time and just, you know, take back everything that I've done, you know, and I would have my kids today if I would have done things the right way. But they were taken, and I fully regret that. It's not a day that goes by that I don't think about my kids. Think about them all the time. The grandmother, she won't allow me to be involved in their life for whatever her reasoning are. He when I spoken with my children's father a couple years ago, like 2 3 years ago, I ran into him and through Facebook, and I just asked him a lot of questions, and asked him did he cheat on me. He denied all of it, but a STD is a STD. I caught a STD. I know I didn't step outside of that relationship. I don't know what he was doing, and he said his argument would be, we was always around each other. That's not true because, he had two apartments. I had one apartment. And when he was staying on the west side, we was apart from each other. So hey, that could have been some time that he could have, stepped out and did what he cheated or whatever. I don't know. But he swears up and down that he never cheated. But I had an STD. And I asked the nurse, I said, is this STD the kind of STD that, somebody stepped out and you know, brought something back home? And she said basically yes. She said STD is, you know, maybe STD is like something that a person contracts. They get it from somebody and then they pass it on to the next person. That's what STDs are. So if I didn't cheat, who cheated? You know. But we stayed into a lot of arguments. He would flirt with other females around me, looking at him, and all this and that, giving him the eye, staring him up and down, while I'm right there, And it's just like he didn't show any respect at all, no regards for me being right there beside him. But I should have been woman enough to say, you know what, if he gonna disrespect me like that, then it's probably best to leave this guy because ain't no way in the world, for any other normal female, they would have left him. But me, I stuck with him. And I stuck in that relationship. I stayed in that relationship because I felt like, I couldn't take care of the kids, without his assistance. Like because I'm on a fixed income, I get Social Security, and he gets Social Security. So it's like my little money, was going towards bills and trying to pay rent and all that stuff, and then whatever I had left over to, be able to buy my kids, that's what I would do. And it was very little to almost nothing. And so I'm looking like, man, I need his part of the income to help me out with the kids. So I'm like, man, I just gotta chill out. Whatever he doing, just let him do it. But again, love kept kicking in, and I couldn't stop arguing with him about females and flirting with different people and different stuff. Like, we'll be walking up the street, he'll look at somebody, and if I start arguing with him, like one time he threw a slice of pizza at my face, and just to think of all the stuff that he did. He did apologize to me and uh, said that he was sorry, he was wrong for what he done. But how many apologies that this man has said to me in that relationship? He done said so many apologies, and I took him back so many times. Just to end up going through something again after again. So, but this time, it was nothing dealing with no relationship. We wasn't getting no relationship or anything. We just wanted to sit down and just talk about things and try to figure out what led up to us losing our kids. Like, why we went through what we went through. And I explained to him my end of the story, and it seemed like the whole time that I explained myself, it's like he didn't want to take the blame on his end. It's like he want to point fingers at me, like, it was you. And I'm like, wow, basically. But he did apologize for putting his hands on me and doing all the things that he did. He was wrong, he said, and I accepted it and I just left it as is. But like I said, it was just basically just talk, no relationship, nothing, just sitting down like friends, asking questions. I asked him, I said, what does his mother have against me? Because she don't want me to see my own kids. You know what I'm saying? And I never done anything to this woman. So I don't know why she don't want me to see my own kids. And I asked him, I said, did any of the kids, do they ask about me? He said, yeah. He said the oldest one, did ask about me at one point. But, the grandmother, she just basically shut her down. Like, she told her, stop asking about me, I'm like, wow, like, I really want to see them. I haven't seen them in a couple of years now. And I have pictures of them, but, it's not like seeing them, face to face. But anyways, I asked him, I said, why does she have a problem with me? Like, why she won't allow me to see the kids? And he said, because of how that relationship went, how we argued a lot and how everything just went dealing with that relationship. And I'm looking like, that was between you and I. What does that have to do with her? Whatever that went between me and him, I have nothing to do with her. So she gonna shut me out their life, but allow him to see the kids. To this day, he's able to see his children, but she shut me straight out. And he kept saying, well, only, it's like, he's like, that's my mother. I'm looking like, well, what does that got to do with it? Just because that's your mother. So he was like, well, so if the tables was turned, would your mother shut me out of the kid's life if she had them? And I said, I can't say, because I don't know what my mother would have done. But, I told him, I said that in some form or way, they would have saw you. You know what I'm saying? Although we don't have nothing going on, you would have been able to see your kids somehow, some way, some form. I said, I'm quite sure she wouldn't have shut you completely out their life. Quite sure she would have allowed you to see the kids. It just wouldn't been nothing between me and him and I. So, basically, again, like I said, she has a problem with me. His mother has a problem with me. And I pray for that lady every single day. Like, not a day goes by that I don't pray for her. I pray for her every day, because it makes it seem like as though she condoned what he did. I don't care if I argue throughout the whole relationship. I never put my hands on him physically. I never touched him. So if I argued at him, you know, is that a reason enough to keep my kids away from me? And two, they don't give him any right to put his hand on me. I can say whatever I want to say. They don't give him no right to put his hand on me physically. If I haven't touched him, he has no right to put his hand on me. So it seems like, in a way, she kind of condones that domestic violence, because I went over to her house not too long ago. I would say maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, in 2019. I went over her house. I found where she lived, and I went over to her house to see if she'll allow me to see the kids. This lady came to the door and cussed me out, called me all kinds of bitches, and I'm gonna get my son on you. And that right there showed me right there. I didn't even cuss her out. I just got in the car and I left. But that showed me right then and there she condones that violence. She condoned it. Anytime a mother gonna say, I get my son on you, what does that spell? Like, that means that she condoned that violence, regardless of whatever went in that relationship. She condoned it. She, she was in agreement with it. And that's sad. That's real sad. Because, if she came to my house, if the tables was turned and she came to my house and I had her kids, I would never have said, oh, I'm going to get my brothers on you, or I'm going to get my brother on you, somebody that she probably was seeing. I would have never said that, because that showed what type of character, showed something about my character, you know what I'm saying? So that, I condone that violence, and, and 9 times out of 10, I believe she already knew about that violence was going on in the first place before even the state got involved. She just never done anything about it. And then I remember when I had my first kid, my daughter. I had my daughter Kyla, and he jumped on me at the hospital in the bathroom after I just had this girl, like shortly after I had her, and you know, and the police came, they arrested him, whatever, on the grounds. Now, she got mad at me for having him arrested. She gonna say to me, well, if you loved him, you would have never locked him up. You could have just walked away from him. What is that to say to somebody? If I loved him, I would have walked away. I'm not going to sit up here and let this man just jump on me. I just had a baby. And then the hospital already enough going to alert the state. So if the state see that I haven't pressed charges on this guy, there's a greater chance they'll take the kid away from me, because of the simple fact, it's like you putting a kid in danger. Although the danger is happening to you, like they're being exposed to it, to danger. So of course I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna make a police report. Yeah, most definitely I'm gonna send him to jail. You know what I'm saying? That's what I did. And she didn't like it. She didn't like it not one bit. But I just want to say I'm gonna cut this short and just say, if you find yourself in domestic violence, leave the guy. Let him go. It's not worth arguing over no female. It's not worth arguing over nothing. Let him go. Let him have what he want to have. Let him go. If he out there cheating, it ain't worth being with somebody just cheating, because the STD is the STD. He can sit up there and mouth all this, oh, I didn't cheat and I didn't this and that, but the STD is STD. Like, where did it come from? To myself, oh, it's whenever we had sex, he didn't wash behind himself and he just let it sit, and that's how he caught it. Every excuse in the book, but then just to not accept the fact that he may have stepped out. So it's either he lying or the nurse lying. And I know that nurse ain't lying. I had an STD. We both had it. So he had to get medicine for it. I had to get medicine for it. And what messed me up was I was pregnant. So it's like being pregnant with an STD. But all I'm saying is let that stuff go. Like, it ain't worth being with nobody. If you're gonna be with a man that's gonna be abusing you and this and that, and you got kids, it's best to let them go, because you don't want your kids to be exposed around that stuff. And furthermore, you don't want to go through all that stuff because you're worth, like, you ain't worth. If you have little worth about yourself, like I did, then of course you'll be in a relationship like that. But now I'm trying to raise my self-esteem better, a little higher than what it was before. I'm working on it now, and I'm seeing my worth. Like, I'm not gonna be with no man that's gonna put his hand on me, because if you're gonna be doing it or cheating, I will cut you loose and let you go. And and that's that. So if you are in a relationship with somebody that's abusing you, verbally, mentally, physically, let it go. It ain't even worth it. It's surely not. People losing their lives over domestic violence. I had relatives who died because of domestic violence, and that's sad. But I'm just saying, let it go. It ain't worth being in, because if a man got to love you with his fist, then he don't love you. He don't love you, and it's not worth being with. So let it go. Let it go. Peace.